First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. So now you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I had known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Go on now, go. Walk out that door. Just turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt, crush me with goodbye? Did I crumble? Did I lay down and die? Oh no, not I. I will survive. Oh, and as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I got all my life to live. I got all my love to give, and I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey, hey. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent oh so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high. And you see me somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And so you feel like dropping in and just expect me to be free. Now I'm saving all my loving for someone who is loving me. Go on now. There's a bar down on Jackson where the neon barely shines, and the bartender keeps wiping down the same old counter every night. I used to sit there waiting with your name inside my head, watching strangers fall in love while something in me slowly bled. You always knew the weakness hidden underneath my skin. You knew exactly how to leave me, then pull me back again. You'd kiss me like forever, then vanish with the dawn. And somehow I kept believing there was something to hold on. I wore your silence like a punishment, blame myself for every bruise. Funny how a wounded woman can confuse pain with truth. But midnight don't belong to you. These tears don't even now. I gave you all my mercy. You never showed me how to love without controlling, to stay without the lies. Now I'm dancing with my freedom under tired city lights. Midnight don't belong to you. These streets forgot your name. I burned the old memories down and walked straight through the flames. You thought I'd stay forever, begging for your touch. But women who survive the storm don't settle for too much. There were nights I almost called you just to hear you breathe again, just to pretend your silence wasn't poison in the end. I kept making excuses for every time you disappeared, and every broken promise that left me drowned in here. You had a way of holding me like I was something you could own, then making me feel guilty for not wanting to feel alone. But loneliness can teach you what heartbreak never could. Sometimes losing somebody toxic is the first step towards something good. Now the electric guitar like a soul refusing change, and the hand on the organ trembles like forgiveness in the rain. I can hear my old self fading with every passing song. Turns out surviving heartbreak makes a lonely woman strong. So go on with your sorrow, go wear your empty crown. I found peace inside the silence the night you let me down. And somewhere in this midnight, with the whole skyline in view, I became somebody stronger than the woman who once loved you. Blue smoke hanging in the hallway, whiskey sweating on the bar. There's a woman in the mirror now who survived a love too hard. I remember all your promises falling heavy from your lips, but pretty words ain't healing when betrayal's in the kiss. You had me shrinking slowly till I forgot my own reflection, calling your manipulation some twisted kind of affection. But every storm runs empty, every fire burns through, and every lonely woman eventually stops loving you. Blue smoke, hallelujah, I can finally breathe again. No more crying in the kitchen, no more begging love to mend. What you shattered with your ego, what you poisoned with your pride, now the blues are softly singing that I made it out alive. Blue smoke, hallelujah, the chains fell from my soul. I stopped mistaking your control for something warm or whole. Tonight beneath the city, with the moon hanging low, I finally love the woman you tried hardest not to know. There's a jukebox in the corner, playing heartbreak soft and slow, like it understands the places only wounded women know. The drummer barely touches that slow heartbeat in the dark, while the Hammond organ trembles like my healing broken heart. You said nobody want me once I learned to walk away. Funny how the truth arrives when the hurting starts to fade. Now strangers call me beautiful in ways you never could, because love ain't love at all if it only makes you feel misunderstood. Now the rain slides down the window like ghosts leaving the room, and every note the guitar cries feels less like pain and more like truth. I used to pray you'd change someday, now I pray for peace instead. Funny how survival wakes the parts of us we thought were dead. Blue smoke, hallelujah, the city hums below, and somewhere past the midnight I finally let you go. There's a woman at the window, watching rain slide down the glass. She remembers every cruel word, every shadow from the past. The room still smells like whiskey and the perfume you left behind. Tonight she isn't breaking. Tonight she changed her mind. She used to count the hours, waiting for your headlights near, living off apologies and surviving mostly fear. You knew how to make her smaller, how to twist her heart in two, till she apologized for wounds that belonged entirely to you. Now the city's humming softly, like forgiveness in the blue, and every passing headlight says she finally made it through. She made it through the gaslight. She made it through the shame. And she don't need your permission to reclaim her name. There's a woman at the window, and she finally looks alive. No more dying for somebody who confused control with pride. She pours another whiskey, lets the slow guitar cry, and smiles like someone who no longer needs to ask why. Blamed herself for every storm inside your chest, like loving you correctly could somehow fix the rest. But broken people break things and selfish people take, and she spent too many years giving more than you could make. Now the moonlight hits her shoulders like silver through the dark, and every scar reminds her she survived another month. Healing moves in silence, not loud like movie scenes. Sometimes strength is simply waking up and finally choosing peace. The rose piano whispers low, like rain against the avenue, and every note keeps saying she don't belong to you. No more shrinking in the mirror, no more fear inside her voice. Freedom didn't happen suddenly, it happened choice by choice. There's a woman at the window, and the city glows below. She once begged you not to leave her, now she prays you never show. No more crying in hotel rooms, no more waiting by the phone, no more dressing up my heartbreak, trying not to feel alone. You had a way of leaving without saying goodbye, and I had a way of loving like I was born to sacrifice. I remember all the long drives, all the fights at 2 a.m. You swore you'd change the blues keep softly telling me what I finally learned is true. Real love don't leave you empty the way you always do. The bartender asked me softly if I'm finally doing fine. I told him healing's strange sometimes. Some nights still rewind. Some songs still cut too deeply. Some memories still sting. But at least I'm no longer losing myself to keep peace. Now the bass line rolls like thunder through this half-lit avenue, and every passing stranger looks a little less like you. Funny how the heart recovers once the chaos disappears. Turns out silence feels safer than surviving all your fears. The electric gets early like smoke inside the rain, and every chord reminds me how I survived the pain. I survived the cold affection, the blame and all the lies. And tonight beneath the city I finally feel alive. No more crying in hotel rooms, no more calling after you. Just the late night radio playing soft heartbreak in blue. And somewhere near the sunrise, past every storm I knew, I became somebody stronger than the woman who once loved you. She walked out singing with mascara tears still wet, carrying nothing but her dignity and cigarette regret. The rain was falling sideways, taxi lights burning gold, but freedom finally found her on that lonely midnight road. He used to call her crazy anytime she spoke the truth. That's how manipulators hide the damage that they do. He knew how to twist silence into something sharp and mean, till she questioned her own memory and every painful thing she'd seen. But broken hearts grow dangerous the moment they stop begging to stay. And somewhere in the storm that night, she finally walked away. So she walked out singing like the blues inside her veins. Every scar became a rhythm, every heartbreak turned to flame. And somewhere in the darkness, between the pain and grace, she stopped seeing his reflection. Every time she saw her face, she walked out singing with the city glowing blue and the moonlight on her shoulders like proof she made it through. No more shrinking for affection, no more dying to be chosen. She let the whole world her once broken. There's a diner by the freeway where she stops some nights alone, listening to late night soul songs and forgetting how he sounded on the phone. She remembers how he'd hold her like he was scared she'd leave, while slowly tearing down every reason to believe. He said nobody else would love her the way he always did, but love don't leave bruises hidden underneath your ribs, and love don't keep score quietly every time you breathe wrong. Real love don't make you feel like surviving takes too long. Now the Hammond organ trembles like thunder in the rain, and every note keeps telling her she'll never lose herself again. So she walked out singing like freedom in the dark, with a slow guitar behind her and healing in her heart. The city kept on breathing through all the smoke and blue. A stronger woman emerged from everything he put her through. She walked out singing, no fear left in her eyes, no more apologizing for finally saying goodbye. And somewhere past the midnight, past every lonely tune, she learned a woman can survive even after being ruined. The drummer barely touches that heartbeat in the dark, while neon spills like memories across abandoned bars. And every stranger passing by can hear it in her voice, the sound of somebody surviving the moment she made a choice. She walked out singing, while the city cried below, and the night wrapped all around her like somewhere safe to go. No more chains around her spirit, no more drowning in his lies, just the soft blues of freedom under tired midnight skies. I spent years trying to convince you I was worthy of your heart, like love was some performance, and I forgot my part. I bent myself like moonlight, trying to fit your mood, apologizing for emotions you were the one who bruised. You had a way of smiling right after making me cry, like tenderness could somehow erase every twisted alibi. And every time I almost left, you'd suddenly become kind. That's how toxic people keep you second-guessing your own mind. But exhaustion tells the truth, even when the heart still lies. And eventually survival looks stronger than compromise. I got nothing left to prove, nothing left to bleed. I survived your cold affection and what it did to me. velvet in my footsteps now. There's calm beneath my skin, and every room feels lighter without your chaos in it. You thought I'd break without you, thought I'd disappear somehow. But baby, look at me now. I still hear your voice sometimes, echoing through the dark, telling me I never heal once you shattered my heart. The scars become less frightening when you stop reopening them, and lonely nights grow easier once you stop waiting for him. The road's piano whispers low like rain on avenue lights, and every chord reminds me I survived another night. I got nothing left to prove, nothing left to lose. You can keep the empty kingdom and all your tired excuses, 'cause women who survive heartbreak eventually understand. The strongest thing you'll ever do is leave with your soul still in your hands. Nothing left to prove, nothing left undone. I stopped chasing after shadows and became someone who can stand beneath the moonlight without fear inside her chest. Turns out peace feels holier than trying to love someone who gives you less. The electric gets the rain, like smoke against the rain, and every note keeps saying you don't have to hurt again. The Hammond organ trembles like a church at closing time, while healing moves through my body, one breath at a time. Now the city keeps on turning, street lights glowing through the haze, and every lonely memory feels farther away, because healing doesn't happen all at once or overnight. Sometimes it arrives slowly, like dawn after a long night. After the last goodbye, the room stayed painfully still. No more slamming doors, no more bending to your will. Just the sound of rainwater sliding down the fire escape, and my own heart learning how much silence it could take. Your jacket still hung by the doorway, like a ghost refusing peace, and every corner of the apartment still whispered memories. I stood there in the kitchen with shaking hands at first, trying to understand how love could leave somebody cursed. You always came back crying right when I started healing clean. That's the cruelest kind of heartbreak, the kind that keeps you in between. Half hoping and half drowning, half loyal, half destroyed, till survival finally teaches you some love only leaves you void. different now. Less like someone waiting, more like someone healing somehow. Funny how heartbreak changes the way a woman walks. You stop explaining your sadness, you stop romanticizing loss. There were nights I blamed myself for every storm inside your soul. Like if I loved you deeper, you'd finally become whole. But broken people heal themselves, nobody else can do their part. And I nearly lost my own life trying to carry your heart. Now the Hammond organ trembles like thunder in the blue, and every slow guitar phrase says you finally made it through. After the last goodbye, I found peace in the rain. No more begging at your altar, no more worship in pain. And every scar inside me feels softer than before, 'cause freedom sounds beautiful when heartbreak closes the door. After the last goodbye, the moonlight touched my skin like heaven gently showing me where healing could begin. No more shrinking in the mirror, no more fear in my chest. Turns out losing toxic love can still become a blessing in the end. The drums move slow as heartbeat, the bass rolls deep and low, and somewhere in the midnight I finally let you go. Not with anger or revenge, not with screaming through the dark, just quiet understanding and a stronger kind of heart. After the last goodbye, the city cried below, but I stood there by the window, finally letting go. And somewhere near the sunrise, past every bruise and line, I became somebody new. After the last goodbye. Rain on Bleecker Street tonight, neon glowing soft and blue, and every passing stranger looks a little bit like you. The subway hums beneath me like a tired midnight prayer, while cigarette smoke drifts slowly through the cold November air. There's a saxophone playing somewhere down an alley near the train, like the whole city memorized every woman's hidden pain. I pull my coat a little tighter, feel the storm inside me ease. Funny how the heart grows quieter when it finally starts to leave. You used to call me fragile whenever I spoke my mind, like honesty was dangerous when it interrupted your lies. And every time I question you, you the healing settles in, and ghosts stop feeling holy the moment you stop letting them in. Rain on Bleecker Street tonight, washing sorrow through the blue, and every drop keeps whispering, I survived loving you. The electric guitar cries softly like moonlight through the pain, and freedom sounds like jazz bars and late night city rain. Rain on Bleecker Street tonight, the skyline glowing gold. I used to beg for tenderness from somebody cold. Now every lonely mile I walk feels lighter somehow, 'cause peace finally arrived the moment I stopped needing you around. I remember all the mornings you left silence in the bed, the cruelest kind of loneliness is sleeping next to someone dead inside your head. You always needed worship, needed someone weak enough to stay, and I kept confusing survival for another form of faith. There's a waitress at the corner cafe who smiles when I walk in. She says, girl, you look stronger now than you ever did with him. And maybe she is right tonight. Maybe healing finally shows in the way a woman carries herself after learning how to let go. The Rose piano moves slowly like headlights through the dark, and every note keeps stitching little pieces of my heart. Right on Bleecker Street tonight, the whole world's shining blue, and every passing shadow feels less and less like you. No more shrinking in the mirror, no more apologizing for pain. I found salvation somewhere inside the rain. Right on Bleecker Street tonight, the city breathing low, and somewhere past the midnight I finally let you go. Now the moonlight hits my shoulders like grace I never knew, and every road ahead of me feels honest, clean and new. The hammered organ trembles like thunder under skin, while drums move soft as heartbeat and healing settles in. I thought surviving heartbreak would leave me cold somehow, but surviving you is exactly why I know my worth now. Rain on Bleecker Street tonight, streetlights fading slow, and there's a woman in the window watching her old life let go. The night wraps all around her like a song she finally understands, and for the first time in forever, her future's in her own hands. You left ruins in your wake, like a storm through every room. Broken dishes in the kitchen, and silence hanging like perfume. I used to walk around your anger like broken glass beneath my feet, trying not to wake the chaos, trying not to make you leave. You had a talent for destruction, wrapped in tenderness and charm, the kind of love that keeps you close while slowly causing harm. And every apology sounded beautiful till the next wound appeared. That's the thing about manipulation, it survives by feeding fear. But eventually the soul grows tired of surviving every day. And the woman who keeps breaking learns she still can walk away. There's grace in the ruins, beauty in the scars. Some women become softer, become stars. And tonight, beneath this moonlight, with the whole skyline in view, I thank heaven for the heartbreak that finally led me through. Grace in the ruins, peace inside the rain. Turns out freedom sometimes arrives right after unbearable pain. And the blues keep softly singing what my heart already knew. I was never hard to love, just too good for somebody like you. The city hums beneath my window like an old soul blues refrain. Taxi lights and cigarette smoke mixing softly with the rain. Slow guitar crying somewhere down the hall beyond my door, like it understands exactly what broken women survive for. I remember how you blame me for the distance in your eyes, like my crime. But wounded people wound people, and selfish hearts take peace. And I nearly lost myself trying to keep your storms asleep. Now I pour another whiskey, watch the amber catch the light, and for the first time in forever, loneliness feels kind tonight. Because lonely doesn't humiliate, doesn't leave your spirit bruised, and silence feels safer than being emotionally used. The Hammond organ trembles like thunder in the blue, and every note keeps whispering, you finally made it through. There's grace in the ruins, healing in the dark. Sometimes surviving heartbreak is where freedom starts. And every scar inside me feels softer than before, 'cause I don't belong to your chaos anymore. Grace in the ruins, moonlight on my skin. I stopped trying to save somebody who never wanted healing. And now the woman in the mirror looks drums moved slow, his heartbeat. The bass rose deep and warm. And somewhere in this midnight I outlived the storm. No revenge left in my body, no poison in my chest, just hard-earned understanding and a quiet kind of strength. Grace in the ruins tonight, skyline glowing gold. I used to think survival would leave my spirit cold, but the night wraps all around me like mercy falling through. And somewhere past the wreckage I became somebody new. Low light confessions at a jazz bar near the train. A singer croons about heartbreak like she memorized my pain. The bartender keeps polishing the same old whiskey glass, while smoke curls toward the ceiling like ghosts from the past. There's a couple in the corner holding hands like they still believe. And for a second I remember the woman I used to be. Before I learned how dangerous a beautiful liar can become. Before loving you started feeling like surviving a loaded gun. You used to kiss my forehead after tearing me apart, like tenderness could somehow heal the bruises on my heart. And every time I almost left, you suddenly turn kind. That's how manipulators keep you second guessing your mind. But exhaustion tells the truth, even when the heart still lies. And eventually survival looks holier than compromise. Low light confessions tonight, the city glowing blue, and every slow piano chord keeps pulling me from you. The electric guitar cries softly like rain beneath the moon, and heartbreak finally sounds different when healing enters the room. Low light confessions tonight, no fear left in my chest. I got tired of begging somebody to simply love me correctly for once, and now the blues keep whispering what my soul already knew. Real love shouldn't leave you lonely the way you always do. I still remember all the mornings you left silence in the bed. The cruelest kind of loneliness is loving somebody emotionally dead. You always needed worship, needed someone weak enough to stay, and I kept mistaking survival for devotion. She walks slower, speaks softer, but no longer carries shame. Because healing changes everything, the way you breathe, the way you stand. And peace starts returning the moment you stop begging to be understood by the wrong hands. The waitress brings another drink and smiles like she can tell I've been dragging myself slowly out of a private hell. Funny how strangers sometimes notice the healing in your eyes before you even realize you finally survive. The Hammond organ trembles like thunder under skin, and every note keeps telling me I'll never lose myself again. Low light confessions tonight, moonlight on the rain. Every scar inside my body feels softer than the pain, and every lonely memory feels farther from the truth. Now that I finally stopped trying to save you, low light confessions tonight. The skyline shining gold. I used to think surviving heartbreak would leave my spirit cold, but freedom sounds beautiful in a slow soul blues refrain. And tonight I hear my own heart calling me by name. The drummer barely touches that heartbeat in the dark, while neon spills like watercolor across abandoned bars. And somewhere in the midnight, between the smoke and blue, I stop mourning the woman who kept destroying herself for you. Low light confessions tonight, breathing slow, and somewhere past the loneliness I finally let you go. Now the night wraps all around me like mercy falling through, and for the first time in forever I belong to me, not you. You still dial my number sometimes after midnight when you drink, probably hoping I still love you more than I love peace. I can hear the old manipulation hiding underneath your tone, like you still believe my heart exists just to keep you from being alone. You always came back lonely whenever your world fell apart. Never because you truly loved me, only because you needed my heart. And I spent years mistaken being needed for being loved, till every piece of my spirit started feeling worn and numb. There were nights I answered crying just to hear you say my name, like maybe tenderness would finally rise from all the damage and blame. But pain grows tired eventually, and survival learns to choose between staying loyal to heartbreak or finally refusing abuse. Now the city glows softer, now the silence feels clean, and healing enters slowly like moonlight through a There's a diner open all night down on 8th in Amsterdam, where she drinks black coffee slowly and remembers who she is again. The waitress calls her sweetheart, the cook hums old blues tunes, and healing starts happening quietly in little midnight rooms. She remembers how you'd criticize the things that made her shine, till she stopped dressing brightly and apologized for taking up time. That's how toxic love works sometimes. It shrinks you inch by inch, till you wake up one lonely morning and barely recognize your spirit. But now the moonlight hits differently. Now she breathes without fear. Now she don't rehearse apologies before saying what she feels. And every passing taxi light feels softer than before, because peace finally entered the night she closed the door. The road piano moves slowly, like rain against the blue, and every chord keeps whispering, you don't belong to what broke you. She don't call anymore, no chains left in her soul. She stopped mistaking your chaos for something warm and whole. Now the electric guitar cries softly, like healing in the rain, and freedom sounds beautiful after surviving pain. She don't call anymore, no poison in her chest. Turns out losing somebody toxic can still become a blessing in the end. And somewhere past the midnight, past every bruise and lie, she became somebody stronger the night she said goodbye. The Hammond organ trembles like thunder underneath skin, while the bass rolls slow and heavy, and healing settles in. No revenge left in her body, no anger left to prove, just quiet understanding, and the strength to finally move. She don't call anymore, the skyline glowing blue. Somewhere near the sunrise, she stopped needing you. Now the whole city sounds softer, like a song she finally knew, and every road ahead of her feels honest, clean and new. The blues knows my name tonight, knows every scar I had, knows how many times I stayed after my soul already died. There's a cigarette burning slowly in the ashtray by the bed, and every curl of smoke looks like the things we never said. The city outside my window feels tired, cold and bruised. Taxi lights sliding through the rain like old memories of you. There's a slow guitar somewhere downtown, crying low and blue, like it understands exactly what broken women do. You always loved me hardest when I almost walked away. That's the cruelest kind of loving, the kind that makes you stay. You knew how to say forever was something holy to believe. But pain can only live so long before the spirit learns. The fire that almost destroyed you can still become what helps you burn brighter in return. The blues knows my name tonight, knows every tear I cry, knows how many lonely mornings I barely stayed alive. But every chord keeps telling me the truth I couldn't see. I was never hard to love, you just didn't know how to love me. The blues knows my name tonight. Moonlight through the haze, and every slow soul melody pulls me farther from those days. Now the heaven organ trembles like heaven in the rain, and healing sounds beautiful inside a midnight refrain. I remember sitting quietly while you blamed me for your storms, like I was somehow responsible for every way you were torn. And I kept trying harder, like devotion could heal pain. But selfish people drain your soul, then ask why you've changed. There's a woman in the mirror now who survived what almost broke her. She don't apologize for breathing, don't make herself smaller. She learned peace is sacred and boundaries are too. And real love never asks you to destroy yourself, proving you're true. Now the bartender pours another without me asking first. Guess heartbreak has a language that lonely people learn. And somewhere in the background, the drummer brushes slow, like the heartbeat of a woman finally learning to let go. The rose piano whispers like rain against the dark, and every note keeps stitching little pieces of my heart. The blues knows my name tonight, knows what I survived, knows how many nights I spent trying to keep us alive. Oh, but survival changed my spirit. Now I finally understand. A woman shouldn't have to bleed just to feel loved by a man. Oh, the blues knows my name tonight. The skyline glowing gold. I used to think surviving heartbreak would leave my spirit cold. But freedom sounds like slow guitars and rain on avenue lights. And healing starts the moment you stop abandoning yourself at night. The electric guitar bends slowly, like smoke beneath the moon, while every lonely memory fades softer through the room. No revenge left in my body, no poison left to prove, just hard-earned understanding and the strength to finally move. The blues knows my name tonight, the whole city breathing low, and somewhere near the sunrise I finally let you go. Now the night wraps all around me, like mercy falling through, and every road ahead of me feels honest, strong and new. dancing with my freedom under tight neon lights. No more apologizing for surviving all those nights. There's whiskey on the counter and soul music in the air, the kind of late night sadness that makes strangers stop and stare. I used to wait for your footsteps like my whole life depended on your key. Funny how manipulation can disguise itself as destiny. You made me feel guilty for every boundary I drew, like loving myself somehow meant I stopped loving you. But heartbreak changes shape eventually. It softens around the edges with time, and the woman who once begged for mercy starts reclaiming her own mind. Now the city looks different. Now the moon feels warm somehow. Funny how peace arrives the moment you stop chasing chaos around. The rain falls soft on Broadway like heaven washing through, and every drop keeps whispering, you survived what almost ruined you. I'm slow dancing with my freedom while the blues play soft and low. And every lonely mile I walked led me somewhere whole. The electric guitar cries softly like moonlight through the pain, and healing sounds beautiful in the middle of the rain. Slow dancing with my freedom, no chains around my soul. I stopped mistaking your chaos for something warm and whole. Now the skyline glows like mercy, and the night feels clean somehow, 'cause I finally became the woman I needed all along somehow. There's a couple near the jukebox holding each other like prayer, and for a second I remember how deeply I once cared. But love should never leave you afraid to speak your truth, and tenderness should never feel like something you have to earn through abuse. You always needed worship, needed someone weak enough to stay, and I kept shrinking myself smaller just to stop you walking away. Till one night inside the silence, I barely knew my own face. That's when survival whispered softly, baby, this ain't love, it's emotional weight. Now the waitress smiles brighter every time I walk inside. Guess healing slowly shows itself in the softness of your eyes, and every late night blues song feels less like grief these days, more like the soundtrack of a woman finally changing her ways. The Hammond organ trembles like thunder under skin, and every note reminds me I'll never lose myself again. I'm slow dancing with my freedom, with the moonlight on my chest. No more sacrificing peace, trying to love somebody careless, and every scar inside me feels softer than before, 'cause freedom entered quietly the night our comes to rise, and the last street lights are fading from these tired city skies. Now every road ahead of me feels honest, clean and true. And somewhere in the quiet, I stop belonging to you. If you ever loved me, it got buried underneath your pride, underneath the lies you told and the truth you always tried to hide. There's rain against the fire escape and blue light on the wall. Funny how the quiet gets louder after the final call. I remember all the evenings I spent waiting by the door, trying to save a love that stopped existing long before. You had a way of disappearing, then returning full of shame, like loneliness only found you when nobody else played your game. And every time you held me close, I confused it for repair. But manipulation, wearing tenderness, still leaves damage there. You taught me how to question every feeling in my chest, till survival became the only thing I learned to do well anymore at best. But exhausted hearts awaken, eventually they see love should never cost you your dignity. If you ever loved me, it wasn't enough to stay, wasn't enough to stop yourself from hurting me that way. Now the blues keep softly singing what my soul already knew. Real love don't leave somebody destroyed after loving you. If you ever love me, I forgive what I can, but forgiveness ain't permission to let you back in again. And every slow guitar phrase tonight feels softer than before, 'cause healing entered quietly the night I locked the door. There's a woman in this apartment who'll finally breathe with ease. No more rehearsing apologies, no more begging someone not to leave. The city hums beneath her like an old soul blues refrain, while moonlight spills across the floor like mercy after pain. She still remembers your laughter, still remembers your hands, still remembers the version of you she thought would understand. But memories lose power when you stop feeding them with grief. Healing starts the moment you stop worshiping what destroyed your peace. Now the bartender knows order, the waitress knows her name, and strangers say she looks alive again. Funny how survival changes things. Every lonely avenue, every midnight song keeps softly reminding her she was strong all along. The road's piano whispers like rain beneath the blue. And every note keeps saying, you don't belong to what broke you. If you ever love me, I hope someday you heal. I hope you learn the kind of tenderness that finally becomes real. But I can't stay inside the fire trying to rescue you. I almost disappeared, doing that for too long too. If you ever love me, then let this ending stand. 'Cause loving somebody truly means not destroying who they are. Now the skyline glows like heaven, and the whole night feels brand new. While somewhere in the distance I stop mourning you. The drums move soft as heartbeat, the bass rolls deep and low, and somewhere in the midnight I finally let you go. No poison left inside me, no hatred left to prove, just hard-earned understanding and the strength to finally move. If you ever love me, the rain has washed it clean, and the woman standing here tonight ain't who she used to be. Now the city sounds softer, like a song I finally knew, and every road ahead of me leads farther from you.